right, everybody, welcome to AWO Podcast's first reaction to Wrestlemania. Night number one is done. It ended about 6 minutes ago. We're here always with the Def Chef and Kim Sparkles. Let's get into it right away. Vince starting the show off with greeting all the fans with the stars on the stage. Corey, what did you think of that?
That's a thumbs up all day. That was good. You could tell it was sincere for sure. He really meant, he was happy to see people there, and I really, even if it was a work, I believed him. So yeah.
I was a little concerned.
Wait, are you saying COVID was a work?
No, I'm saying even if Vince acting nice was a work.
The whole coronavirus was a work, by the way.
Yeah, right.
No, I was a little concerned that Vince wasn't able to actually say WWE twice. Yeah. So he was like, WWE. But other than that, it was fine.
Hey, why do I have a filter on my head? What's that?
My question is, why was all the stars who were wrestling tomorrow night, why were they in their ring gear?
They weren't all.
Well, not all, but Daniel Bryan was in his ring gear, and so was Otis. And like, why are you?
They don't have a normal look.
Do they give their WrestleMania money for? Did they get the WrestleMania bonus for coming out there for that? You think they'll let them have it for that?
I don't know.
Right. I think it's just like a thing that everybody just wants to be there anyway. So whatever.
Right. Yes. Real quick, having fans was amazing. I'm sure you guys agree.
I still think the noise was pumped in, though, most of it.
Oh, it was.
But you could tell, especially when Drew came out and you could just feel their excitement about it. And when they were waiting for the rain delay, which was very interesting too, and everybody had to like off the cuff just talk. They could talk about that a little bit and how exciting it was, and so I feel like that was sincere too.
Yeah, that was up, man. I mean, I have watched wrestling for a long time, and I do not remember a weather delay. I mean, I remember I remember the one they used to do in Sturgis with WCW. They wrestled in the rain, like it was pouring. But I guess this was because of lightning. I actually thought the highlight of all that was the New Day promo. It was kind of like they went to everybody who could talk and just said, talk. And I don't know if you know that Big E's dad is like a preacher. And so Big E credits like when he goes into preacher mode, and he straight was preaching during that promo. I just thought it was hilarious. And then KO who can talk. Then he went to the Miz. It was good. So, all right. So going into the first match, I will say, I'll let you all talk, but I'll just real quick saying, I was not liking the idea of it being first, but I did after watching it. I did like that it was first. I thought it was a good moment for Drew. But, Corey, talk about that match, anything that stuck out to you, all that stuff.
It really wasn't an amazing match. I think Bobby Lashley's actually getting a little bit better on the mic than he used to be. I'm noticing that, like, he's getting to talk more, and I think he's really coming around there. So hopefully with this push of him, we get to see his character grow a little bit and him actually develop a little better promo skills. I think that seems to be in the works.
Kim?
This wasn't the greatest match. I wasn't really looking forward to it that much. It was okay for starting everything off, and I think they got to get the first roar of the crowd and everything. It was I don't know, I just didn't find like any real memorable moments from it.
That's what I would say. It was just an average match. It was just a typical, it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. I did like how they gave Drew a chance to kind of hulk up like Hogan used to do, where he was down on the ground.
Yeah.
He never tapped. He didn't get pinned. So I guess technically, like his character is still intact. I don't know about you guys, but I'm surprised they have Bobby win. That's me. But that, since when do we ever get what we want as fans?
Well, we kind of talked about that in our predictions, that was a possibility, just because it's in order to build Bobby up a little bit and have, I'm sure Drew will come back and win, or maybe not. I don't know, but I think he's not going to be just out of the picture. At least I hope he's not. But he's been the champion for almost a year, so I mean, I wasn't surprised by it.
I mean, I mean, Bobby is a lot better than he used to be. You know what I mean? I've never really liked him. I think he kind of moves like a robot. Like, it's just really not a lot of agility. You know what I mean, Corey?
His personality is really fake.
He can barely move his arms. He's huge. The guy's ripped. I mean, body guys have a hard time doing a lot of athletic stuff, and he is definitely a body guy,
And I thought the best part was after he won, and he was like taunting the crowd and stuff. I actually thought that was the best part of the match for Bobby.
Yeah.
Most personality I've ever seen him. And so it was cool. Real quick, they had the NWO with Bailey and Titus O'Neil. All I have from that is Scott Hall looks so old. He's younger than Nash, and he's not much older than Six, and he just looks old, man.
Hell yeah!
That's what drugs and alcohol will do.
Yes. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, I mean, it was. So tag team turmoil match. It was there. we had a match.
Sure, yeah.
Mandy Rose fell walking to the ring.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Was it Mandy Rose or was it Dana Brooke?
No, it was Mandy Rose.
I couldn't tell the difference between the two of them.
And neither could Corey Graves, because
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves called one of them the other. So
and then he's like, "Oh, I'm wrong."
I just think it's sad. I just think it's sad that they did look so much alike. I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time with, Dana Brooke came into the WWE and she was a bodybuilder and a strong woman, and she,
gymnast.
Yeah, and she lost weight and she got into, really good shape, but she just, I think she had a little plastic surgery. She's gotten to the point where, like, it is hard to tell the difference between
Vince's cookie cutter blonde number 10 package here.
I love Dana Brooke. I loved them. I loved her when she was with Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. That whole thing, like,
that was dumb.
But Corey, you used to love Dana Brooke too.
I did. I thought she was like totally underrated back in the day. She was so good and so strong, and now she's just being turned into
a character.
Yeah.
I will say, I am going to say this. I absolutely love Billie Kay. She is hilarious.
Yes.
She has the chance to be the R-Truth of the female wrestlers.
Wow.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
R-Truth has a job for life because he's so funny, but Billie Kay is so underrated. So funny. Billie Kay just imitating Carmella, trying to do everything. That was the most interesting. Yeah. That was the most interesting part. My thing I kept thinking through the whole thing was like, there's so many other wrestlers I would much rather be seeing right now. I'd much rather have had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal
tonight. Yeah.
Well, I just kind of felt like it was just a way for them to just throw a bunch of women in there for their WrestleMania moment, and it wasn't really a way to like really showcase any of them. I really didn't feel like anybody was like outstanding or anything like that, and so that's kind of disappointing. But
anything, Def Chef?
Nah.
So let's move on to the next one, which I will say did not steal the show, but is the best match of the night, and that is Cesaro and Rollins. But that's my opinion. Kim called it. Kim said it. there's going to be the best match of the night, and I didn't.
And when it happened, I was like a fan too. My arms were up in the air, like yes. I was super excited about it.
I thought it was a great match.
I texted with my friend and said, I'm marking out so bad right now. Like I just and
I felt like that was like the Kofi Mania moment. Like it was his finally getting,
something
recognized, and they kept talking about it too, the announcers, about all the work he's put in, and he's deserved it and everything. And so I felt like it was really a good moment for Cesaro.
I was afraid that they kept talking it up so much they were going to make him lose and go through the whole Daniel, Bryan, Kofi, lose a bunch. I'll talk about this one first. I really missed the sirens and James Bond entrance of Cesaro.
Yes. Rip the suit off. Love that.
That was tone for years was Cesaro's music.
I mean, Cesaro is so strong. Like when he was doing that with Rollins on his shoulders without any hands.
UFO.
I mean, that was insane. And then he did the swing after that. And it was a match that really showcased the strength of Cesaro.
He's a freak of nature, and just like even from the start, running across super fast at top speed and uppercutting him right at the beginning, you instantly were like, and I really did about halfway through. I mean, I do not like Seth Rollins, but this was a great match. And that corkscrew splash he did was mind-blowing. But I really thought they were still going to have Cesaro to lose because they were just kept talking about how great it was. When Seth went for the stomp and he ducked out of the way and then came up with the uppercut, I marked out like crazy.
That was good. That was really good. Yeah.
Corey, what was your reaction to just the matches all and Cesaro finally winning?
I hope they take it farther. Like, is this finally going to be like a push for him or not? Is he actually going to get a chance at a real championship? Because he's one of the hardest working guys in the company for sure. I really hope they just build upon it and don't just be like, okay, that was your moment, and then no more for you. I mean, I want them to really like do something for him finally.
Yeah, like they rewarded Zack Ryder for all those years by winning the title at the ladder match in Dallas, and then the next night
take it away from him. Yeah.
So like Monday night, Seth Rollins destroys Cesaro.
Right. And spins Cesaro 30 times or some stupid crap like that. Right. Yeah, just one more. I beat him by one.
But yeah, I'm not a Seth Rollins fan. I thought this was from a wrestling standpoint and a fan standpoint was the best match of the night. Did not steal the show. It didn't steal the show. Wasn't my favorite match, but it was the best wrestling WWE match of the night.
I don't know.
I feel like it just had the feel good like payoff at the end. That's what made it good for me.
No, and yeah, Kim's absolutely right. New Day AJ. Actually I thought this was going to be the best match. I loved how Big E did come out and do the intro for him. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. I didn't know what Amos was wearing. If he had a white collar on, he would look like a giant priest. I like when wrestlers talk trash in the match. So like Xavier and Kofi were cracking me up when they're like, "You're not a tag team wrestler, AJ. This is called splitting the ring in half." Like I was losing.
That was good.
That was the best part. I have an interesting thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about Billy Gunn for a minute, which I know means nothing right now. But Billy Gunn could never make it as a singles wrestler. He was always his success was in tag team. I'm afraid that's what's going to happen to Xavier Woods. Like, I'm afraid he is always going to have to be in a team. Will he ever make it like as a one-star person? So Corey, I'll ask you about Xavier and then your thoughts on the match.
God, I don't know. Man, that's deep. Like
No, it just struck me.
I wasn't expecting that, but that's hard.
Comparison though, like Billy
Yeah,
Gunn.
totally. I totally see the comparison. Like,
yeah,
yeah, he was always tag team. Like
Smoking Guns, New Age Outlaws, Chuck and Billy. He always had to have a gimmick, and I'm just afraid. But we'll talk about that later. Corey, what do you think of the actual match?
I thought that was hilarious when he was yelling, "This is called cutting the ring in half." I was like, is it so bad he's calling it that loud, or is it so good that he's like, they're just clowning? I didn't realize they were clowning him, and I thought that was pretty funny. I thought Omos was better than he was gonna be.
Oh, really? I thought it was disappointing. That's interesting.
I thought he would be totally Great Khali horrible, and he actually seemed a little bit more athletic.
Well, okay, I agree with that. He was not great. He was better than Great Khali.
I was expecting that kind of garbage, but he just stood there and he was big, but he could move. So maybe they're just gonna kind of creep him in a little bit at a time and surprise us a little bit or something. Or that's all he's got. One of the two.
Kimmy?
Well, I'm going to go back to Xavier Woods for a moment. So I think, Xavier Woods has a very successful YouTube show, the Up, Down, Down. And I think that that and his humor, personality, and everything, I think that he probably does do better with the tag team, but I don't know if that means that he can't be a single star. I think he would be the weakest single star of the three of them, but I don't think that it would mean that he can't be. I think that given the right opportunity, I think he could be, but I think that the problem is that with such a success of the New Day, it's going to be hard for him to go on to something else and be more successful than the New Day was. So
I agree totally. I think we're seeing that with Big E, partly because he's still with them a lot on interviews, and like tonight, Kofi will not have that problem because he wrestled for 10 years before he was even in the New Day. I think he can not be in the New Day and be fine. I will say much respect to Kofi for selling as well as he did the Omos. Like just doing the job, doing the deed. 2 years ago, he's winning the title, and now he's here at a tag match and getting chokeslammed by this guy. And so, I mean, kudos to him for being the company guy. I will say that the shot at the end of AJ sitting on his shoulders with the tag belts, that was the money shot. That looked really cool. Like, I thought that was awesome. That got me excited. I was like, they're going to have a long run, I think. Like, I think
he's so small compared to him. Like, you don't realize it until he was running circles around him and looked like that tiny dog. Hey, Spike, want to play ball, Spike? Nah, smack.
It's so true. Like, he's 7'3", man. I'm telling you. Hey, Braun and Shane had a match.
Yeah, I barely watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, it was dumb.
It was very predictable.
Hey, everybody out there, in case you didn't know, Braun and Shane had a match, and Shane got thrown off top of the cage, and so now
Braun's see that coming.
Yeah, now Braun's not stupid.
Moving on.
I mean, I thought that I thought that it was a nice touch at the end where he was like, "This is for everybody who's ever been called stupid, and I do this for you."
It was like the anti-bullying PSA for WWE. There you go.
Corey called it. Corey called it the other day when he was like, "I think this is all for kids. I think this is all for the Nickelodeon thing." Like, it was absolutely right. And this is twice now where Braun Strowman went into WrestleMania and had to do something dumb, like the whole Nicholas thing. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
My tag partner is the kid.
Yes.
My gosh, that was still. Hey, Braun and Shane had a match. Hey, we had.
And now it's over, and let's hope that this whole feud is over. That's my hope.
We had a tag team turmoil match. and we had this awful match, and Shinsuke Nakamura is not on the card any night. So,
wow.
Or Chad Gable. So, like, I mean, or Cedric Alexander, you know? So it's like, or Drew Gulak. I mean, all these million other stars, you know, or Rey Mysterio. Just all this, you know. And, okay. So let's talk about probably the most shocking moment in WrestleMania history. 2 words for you: Bad Bunny. Like,
oh my gosh. That guy, that was the best celebrity match I've ever seen in my life.
Best celebrity match ever. Not even close. Even even the beginning with all the bunnies and Miz and them performing the song. Like, even that. Side note,
it bothered me because there were 2 bunnies that only had 1 ear apiece. And I was like, what is this? Like, why?
You want to know where Drew Gulak was? He was probably one of the guys in the suits. That was probably everybody that couldn't be on, all in suits. He's like, Vince is like, if you want to be on WrestleMania, you got to wear a bunny suit.
They're all holding the head the whole time.
So you don't see who they are.
And, you know, my wife really likes the logo that the Miz and Morrison have with the bunnies with the shades and the beards. By the way, side note. So if you are the person who created that in the WWE graphic design department, kudos to you.
Good job.
Bad Bunny's entrance was awesome on the semi. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, I am already into this way more than I thought I was.
Kind of reminded me of Triple H entrance. It was a Triple H-y, very, very Triple H-y entrance right there.
I mean,
probably had something to do with it.
You could tell that they were really building up the match and, you know, trying to make him look, you know, cool. And Corey and I were talking about how, you know, they had mentioned he was a fan of wrestling, you know, since he was a kid and everything. And I said, the most perfect person to pair him with is The Miz, because The Miz like took entertainment and turned it into becoming a wrestler. And so, you know, I'm sure that there was just an instant connection there. And they, you know, just like we knew he would, Miz sold everything perfectly. And I think they did a good job of showcasing him, you know, giving him the, you know, letting him have the pin. And
he was in the ring more than Damian Priest by 3 times.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. You know, and Kim, this is the moment I feel like this podcast might be really something good, because literally the next thing I wrote down was only The Miz could do this. Yeah. Only The Miz could have pulled this off. I think it needed to be a little bit shorter. The double arrows that they both hit were really cool. That bunny like sunset flip thing he did
outside the ring, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
And did you notice that the commentators were like, we've seen stuff like that on other networks, but not here in WWE. And I was just saying, that's some AEW stuff right there.
Totally. Well, and it's funny because Booker T kept saying, kudos to his trainers and blah, 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 because Booker T's the one that trained him for the match.
Yes.
So, you know, the most thing that we probably don't talk about is Bunny was in great shape. He never looked winded. He never looked like he was all the celebrities who were sucking air. Like, he was in tremendous shape.
He's young, though, and he performs. Like, he has to be in good shape to get up and perform concerts and stuff like that. You just can't get up and do that. So
I can't believe we're saying the words. The Bad Bunny match stole the night.
Yep.
It stole
the show. That was the one right there.
I'm still going to stick with
the
Seth Rollins and Cesaro one as being my favorite.
Well, it could be your favorite, and it was the best match, but all anyone is going to be talking about is the Bad
Bunny.
Yeah.
I looked at Twitter, and Bad Bunny was trending like worldwide. It was the #1 trend was Bad Bunny. And it is going to it's not going to go away. I'm telling you, it made them so much money tonight.
Well, hopefully, I mean, now knowing that he can wrestle, I mean, hopefully it's not over and they can, you know, keep going a little bit after all this buildup. I mean, this match actually had more buildup than many of the ones that were showcased in WrestleMania. So why not continue it? if
Right.
it's gonna get
Just
all of this.
the few matches that started at Royal Rumble and carried all the way till Mania.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you as shocked as I am?
I knew it was going to be good. I just had that. I was the one to say it last week. I was like, watch, he's going to be the one that can work his butt off and nobody's going to see it coming. I was right. Yeah.
It was almost so good that it hurt the main event.
Right.
It did. We were talking
totally.
about that too, like thinking, okay, now we have to go out there and do at least as good as they did. And it seemed like that match was kind of a little bit of a letdown after that. We kind of knew Bianca was going to win. And so for me, it was just more just like waiting for that moment to happen. But yeah, it was hard to compete with the match before.
Her carrying her up the stairs.
Oh, I have that written down next.
Yeah, that was great.
That was literally the next thing I said. Was
I mean, she is a beast, and she showed it on one of, I think it was on are they on the SmackDown or Raw? I keep forgetting. So she did where she was carrying.
We're a professional podcast. We don't even know what brand it's on. What brand it was for the SmackDown.
You know, sometimes it's hard to keep track. But
the SmackDown Women's title,
and I watched them too. But she was carrying a guy. I can't remember even who that was, but she was like, carrying a guy like from one end of the ring to the other, and I was just like, man, she is strong.
There's probably Drew Gulak. Or Drew.
No, it was Otis.
The Somalia. Oh, it was Otis.
It was Otis.
Otis up and carried him.
Yep.
So anyway, Press carrying up the stairs. I wrote down that I thought the Bad Bunny match was so good that it hurt this. The crowd was into it. The crowd was into the match, so that was good. Her doing the standing shooting star press was awesome. Like not off the top rope. But the highlight of the match was that hair whip. Like good. You should go back and watch the crowd's reaction when she whipped her, because everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh!" Everybody was like, that welt she had. That was the best part of the match.
I'm sure it was painful.
And it was loud.
That was loud.
I don't like Sasha. Kudos to her for taking that. That's like Daniel Bryan, level of taking pain.
Taking the slap from Big Show.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Woo. Taking
so
the chop
anyway,
from Big
overall, Show. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I will say I'm a big fan of it being too nice. I know there's some purists out there in my friend group who don't, but I'd much rather have 2 3-hour nights than 1 6-hour night with a 2-hour pre-show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it kind of, and I like the way that they've split things up this year in particular about, kind of having some really good matches on both nights, so that, there were some moments tonight that I was kind of like, okay, I was doing a couple other things while I was watching it. But overall, I would say it was way better than what I really expected it to be. And so I was pleasantly surprised.
Outside of Shane and Braun, I was engaged most of the matches.
Yeah.
I think it was way better than the Hall of Fame. That was boring. I didn't even want to watch. It was
I'm glad I didn't.
So lame. Yeah, so bad.
Real quick, tomorrow night. So now, since Bad Bunny was so shocking, I think that Big E and Apollo Crews is going to be the best match tonight.
I hope so.
What's a Nigerian drum match?
Who knows?
I was saying, so you guys haven't been paying close attention because they've been talking about this on Raw for the last several weeks haven't really explained what it is. I mean, it's probably going to be some sort of like, I don't know if it's like a back a
Punjabi
parking brawl or whatever it is.
Ready to say the same thing, Corey. It better not be Bobby prison match. No.
But with spears instead of bamboo, it'd be spears all the way around.
If I am of Nigerian descent, I would be so ticked and worried about some.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to
Bad
see
Bunny told the show. So anything, Matt Riddle and Sheamus is going to be the best match of the night. You know, somebody from the WWE is going to hear this and they'll be like, you know, I swear tomorrow night, if Jimmy Uso shows up and turns on Jey Uso, somebody from the WWE is tapping our phones. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Well, you never know. I'm sure Vince has, you know, still kind of tweaking some ideas before tonight. So.
Nigerian drum fuck.
What are we going to do for that? We better start thinking.
Still has no idea what it's going to be. There's going to be drummers outside. Dun, 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 dun,
I know, like, oh, that's Big E does not deserve this. Oh my gosh. So tomorrow night, you know, we all feel Roman Reigns edge. Daniel Bryan will be good. I don't think there's a chance in the world Asuka will win. I love Asuka. We have Asuka against Rhea Ripley, Bray Wyatt against Randy Orton, which will be the Braun Strowman and Shane of the show, in my opinion. Big E and Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight, whatever that is. That's the thing now. That should start the show. It should be the drum. Anyway.
Well, and now they're going to have the women's match too. I don't know if
now they're going to have Nia Jax and whoever that other girl is. Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler.
Baszler, yeah.
No, against the worst tag team they had there, which was Tamina and Natalya. Like, any other one of those tag teams would have been better. But to me, it's the Hearts and it's the Snukas, so it's more names.
And they're actually probably the best working, like, knowledgeable women in there. They're probably, I mean, like, honestly, like, if it were real, they'd be the one kicking everybody's ass.
Right. Yeah. And then we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with Logan Paul, which no one cares about Logan Paul. By the way, it's just, I love Kevin Owens tonight when he just goes, I'm going to take your microphone. Just took the guy's microphone during the promo thing. Just like, you're not even going to hold it. I'm just going to take he's like, I'm going to take this. And,
I actually thought that with Seth Rollins, when he was doing his promo, that it was really funny too, where he kept calling the guy Mike and calling Cesaro Cesaro. And I thought that was pretty funny.
It was all great because no one scripted any of that. That's why it was so great.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just Kofi and them making fun of that English guy saying, haven't you watched the product? Like, don't you even know who we are? You know, anyway. I love how we talked more about the unscripted promos during the weather than we did about Shane and Braun.
Me too. Like, let's stop talking about it.
Shane and Braun no longer. Drew Gulak got more praise from us than Shane and Braun.
Wow.
All right, guys. See y'all tomorrow night. I'm excited. So much for not texting you guys, by the way.
We had to share our thoughts a little bit, so it was fine.
All right, guys. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. AWO Podcast, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, email, AWO Podcast 316. We're waiting for that first email for someone saying, I love your podcast. So if you are one of like maybe one people that are watching this, let us know. And just remember 2 words for you. Bad Bunny.